My name is Greg Olmstead. I'm the President and CEO of North Alabama Educators Credit Union. My purpose with this fraud alert video is to alert you about active fraud and scams that are being directed to people in this community. While the national fraud losses are staggering, $8.8 billion in 2022, an increase of 30% from 2021, my concern is for the thousands of dollars being lost by those right here in North Alabama. One of the primary objectives here at the credit union is to protect the assets of our members. It is very difficult having to relate to a member that they have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars to a scam. Scammers are very good at what they do. They are modern day con men as they gain your confidence into doing things that you normally would not do with your money and personal information. I wanted to do this video to make it easier for anyone watching this to avoid becoming a financial victim. Feel free to share this video with friends and family, as nobody is immune to fraud and scams. Recently, I attended a fraud awareness conference, and the current trends were sobering to say the least. Right now, theft of postal mail is one of the biggest problems. The increase in theft of mail is 25% higher than this same time a year ago. Basically, thieves are stealing mail from the blue mail drop boxes and stealing checks and other personal info in mail. Checks are the primary targets. The checks are altered in both the dollar amounts and payees. Many times the stolen check info gets put on a dark web where everything is for sale. There's been a 2,400% increase in the number of stolen checks available on the dark web as opposed to last year. 2 individuals were arrested in South Alabama charged with stealing over $17.7 million in checks. One large regional bank is reported to have lost $81 million last year to altered checks from stolen mail. What can you do to protect yourself? I would not recommend using the blue mail drop boxes outside unless you can see a video camera close to it. Take your mail inside to the post office, or if mailing checks, consider sending it by electronic bill payment or ACH. Keep in mind that some of the mail thefts have been done by postal workers themselves. Check your account statements to verify that checks written did clear for the correct amount and payee. Our home banking shows the front and back of cleared checks, so you can also verify that the payee was not altered. Romance scams are another popular scam directed at lonely people of all ages. These scams typically begin with social media, text messages, or emails, and the process can take months to build up to the point of financial losses. These romance scams almost always involve a person who says they live in another state or country. At some point after trust is gained, they will ask for money to be sent to help with an emergency they have or assist with travel to meet you. Keep in mind though that a romance scam could be perpetuated by somebody local. The red flag to watch out for is asking for money from you. There is a local woman who has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in several romance scams by different scammers pretending to be in love with her. They do say that love is blind, but please keep your eyes open when being asked to give money to a romantic interest. Photos and even voices online can be anyone and anywhere in the world. Many times these romance scams are done by scammers in foreign countries, where investigations and prosecutions are extremely difficult. A money mule is an individual who agrees to allow money from others to flow through their account. Money mules are also connected at times to these romance scams, as these romance partners may ask you to deposit checks or receive electronic funds. We recently had a gentleman who claimed to have a fiance in another state who sent money for deposit to hold for a real estate transaction. The check was a $45,000 counterfeit check that fortunately was held and discovered it was a counterfeit item. Online job offers that ask you to move money through your personal account are also scams. No legitimate company would ever mingle business funds with an employee's personal funds. Even if the funds were electronically deposited, these funds could be stolen from a hacked account elsewhere. The scammer wants to make you responsible for these stolen funds. Account holders are legally responsible for funds that flow through their account. Know who you're dealing with and ask the credit union management for advice on anything that looks suspicious. Secret shopper scams are still prevalent in our area. You receive an official-looking envelope from FedEx or UPS that has a check with instructions on shopping locally to document how the business handles your transactions. There's a list of items and services, usually a wire transfer or sending money by Western Union. The fake job asks you to rate the services. In exchange for your work, you get to keep $200 or some other amount of the check sent. The check sent is a counterfeit. and you will be out the entire amount of the check. There are legitimate secret shopper programs out there, but none of those are going to send you any checks or money in advance. They will also usually be products and services you already use as well. Jury duty scams are similar. Use an official looking phone number from a trusted government agency that displays in your caller ID. Fraudsters can spoof the caller ID to display whatever number they want. Your caller ID, for example, will display the Madison County Sheriff's Department. You answer the call and the person says that they are a law enforcement officer, often a real officer's name, and say that you did not show up for jury duty and you are about to be arrested. To avoid arrest, you can agree to purchase gift cards or provide a card number to avoid arrest. Fear is the driver here. They will scare you into doing something that does not make sense. The same works for a fake IRS call. Recently, there was a fake call involving a spoofed call from a funeral home where the caller said that they had to have immediate funds via credit card for a funeral service that was to take place the next day. The info was obtained from the online obituary listing. It's a low-down case right there. The lesson here is never trust caller ID. When in doubt, call back to a phone number that you looked up yourself. Have you ever had a friend or relative call you in a panic asking for financial help due to some emergency? Again, this number could be spoofed to display the person you know. A person had this happen to me several years ago when a crying young man called my phone to say that they were my son who had been arrested in Georgia and needed money. Since my real son was in the house, the call did not go very far. Several years ago, I prevented one of our members from sending $20,000 by wire transfer from a similar call, supposedly from the woman's grandson. She thought that the caller was her grandson. It was not, and she avoided a huge loss. When in doubt, call a trusted number that you have on hand to verify any emergency situations. One scary situation emerging right now is the use of artificial intelligence to mimic the voice of a loved one in a spoofed call such as this. I would encourage family members to create a code word or some other secret way to verify a caller in this type of a situation. Again, you can always call back to a trusted number that you already have on file. Online scams are popping up lately also. This is where someone with credit problems goes online for a quick loan. The fake loan company asks for your home banking credentials to deposit the loan proceeds into your account. They then use mobile deposit to deposit counterfeit checks into your account that they then move before you know it. First off, you should never give out your home banking credentials to anyone who is not authorized user on your account. Secondly, any legitimate loan company will just electronically deposit those loan proceeds into your account. People are being asked for various reasons to give access to home banking, and the short answer is never do this, as the purpose is always fraudulent. Microsoft and Apple are great companies, but neither one of those are ever going to contact you by phone or instant messaging to say that your device is infected and that they need to clear your device. These are bold scammers who portray themselves to be saviors of your personal information when in fact the exact opposite is taking place. They typically will install spyware in your devices and then gain access to any app or website that you visit. We have seen home banking logs in this manner where they also gain access to your phone to receive the authentication code login from a different IP address. Do not trust or click on pop-ups as these devices may be infected. Close out your browser and restart if necessary. If you think the device has been compromised, disconnect that device as soon as possible from the internet to have a professional computer technician to scan and clear out your device. Inheritance and lottery winner scams are oldies but still show up. We recently had a member who had received info that they were a Publishers Clearinghouse winner and that the prize patrol would meet them at the credit union the next day. They of course wanted money up front for expenses, which is an obvious scam. I actually spoke to this scammer myself who said that they would meet at the credit union the next day and asked if they would be willing to meet with the Huntsville police as well. I will say that the member did the right thing because they figured it was fake from the start and brought everything in for us to look it over. No legitimate lottery winner or inheritance recipient will ever have to pay anything up front. If you're being asked to do so, you are trying to be scammed. All scams typically contain one or more of these factors. Fear, they want to scare you into doing something you normally wouldn't do. Urgency, you have to act right now. There's no time to use rational thought. Trust, they gain your trust by portraying someone you normally do trust. Trust but verify in all cases. Loneliness, people want people in their lives. Sometimes the scammers get people to talk with them, just because of this reason alone. Greed. Getting something for nothing is a huge red flag. If it sounds too good to be true, 99.9% of the time it is. Please be careful out there, and if something seems sketchy, feel free to reach out to credit union management at any branch office. New scams are being created all the time, so your reporting may help us to prevent someone else from becoming a victim. We will gladly assist in any way possible to prevent financial losses. Thank you and stay safe.